girl who can't count to 20.
He said, "You are my queen, now and always." Then he killed her. Not before, not after, while. The embrace and the blade were the same motion. A man who has spent his entire life proving his goodness does not betray love. He converts it into one more thing to lose. That is the only detail that matters in this scene, and it rewrites everything you thought you knew about who Jon Snow really is. To calculate the atmospheric pressure of this throne room, we must understand what these two people are to each other the moment Jon Snow walks through that door. Daenerys Targaryen is not a conqueror celebrating. She just burned a city she believes she had to burn, and she is standing before the thing she was born to inherit. At peace, the kind of peace that comes from certainty, not cruelty. Jon is not arriving as a soldier. He is arriving as a man who has already made a decision he cannot say out loud, giving the woman he loves every possible chance to stop him. What is at stake is not the throne. It is whether Jon Snow can look at real, offered love and still do what the wound inside him has.
It was necessary.
Jon does not open with anger. He opens with witnesses. I saw them. He is building a record, not starting a fight, the way someone does when the verdict is already written and they need the transcript to show they tried. He is not accusing Daenerys. He is documenting her. Daenerys answers in 2 words. It was necessary. No grief, no pause. She does not say it was terrible, but necessary. The word necessary carries no emotional weight because she has already moved past the question. The deaths were a cost. Her logic is closed. Moral disengagement. The psychological process by which a person suspends their own ethical standards by reframing a harmful act as required or inevitable, rather than chosen. She has placed the children's deaths inside a category she calls cost, not crime. Jon cannot enter that category. His inability to enter it is not superior virtue. It is a wound that will not—
And it broke your heart.
This is the most dangerous line in the scene. Daenerys is not deflecting, she is correct. Jon Snow has executed men. He hanged Ollie, a child, because the law of the Night's Watch required it. He has performed the same calculus she is now asking him to excuse. Her question is not a counter-argument. It is a mirror, and Jon's answer, forgive him, is not a counter-argument either. It is a retreat from a reflection he refuses to name. Projection. Inversion. When a person condemns in another the exact capacity they have already demonstrated in themselves, using moral distance to avoid recognizing the shared mechanism. Every time Jon Snow was chosen, by Mormont, by the Night's Watch, by the living, something was asked of him that cost him everything. He executed men he trained with. He let himself be stabbed 19 times rather than abandon his post. The pattern reads as honor. Inside that pattern, being good and being destroyed by the choice became the same thing. He does not condemn Daenerys because she is worse than him. He condemns her because watching her be comfortable with the cost is what the wound cannot survive. That word, please. Every other line Jon speaks in this throne room is careful, constructed, building towards something. Please is the word underneath all of it. The only moment in the scene where he is fully himself. He is not asking her to spare Tyrion. He is asking her to give him a reason not to do what he already came here to do. She says, I can't. The scene ends at that line. Everything after is already decided. Compulsive sacrifice. Pattern. A behavioral loop in which a person repeatedly places themselves in positions requiring self-destruction as proof of integrity, not because they want to suffer, but because the capacity to receive has been conditioned out of them. Jon Snow has never made a decision that left him whole afterward. He went north of the wall knowing it was likely fatal. He rode into the Battle of the Bastards alone, into 10,000 spears, because impossible choices are the only kind his psychology recognizes as real. Daenerys has answered every one of his appeals honestly. Now the choice is impossible. So he walks toward it. She does not say this with cruelty, she says it with clarity. A cruel answer, Jon could fight. Clarity offers nothing to push against. Daenerys has looked at a burning city and concluded that the people who disagree with her simply do not understand what she understands. Certainty without the capacity to receive disagreement, in a person holding a dragon, is the most dangerous architecture in the world. Jon goes silent. The transcript shows it. He has no response. Because she has just described the same logic every person who has put a blade through someone they loved has used to justify the act. And he is about to use it himself.
Together.
This is the cruelest speech in the series. Not because Daenerys means it as cruelty, because she means it completely. She is offering Jon Snow the one thing the wound has always taken from him, a reason that is also a belonging, not duty, not honor, not the realm needs you. She is saying, you and I from the beginning, together. She is offering him the ending where the wound finally stops. Jon steps toward her. He pulls her close. He kisses her, and in the same breath, the blade goes in. Sacrificial compulsion as identity collapse. The terminal stage of the compulsive sacrifice pattern, when the subject can no longer separate their sense of self from the act of loss, so that even when rescue is offered, the rescue is converted into one more thing to do. He means it. Present tense. Permanent tense. Jon Snow does not operate through deception. The declaration is not a lie told to lower her guard. It is the truth at the exact moment the blade enters. Love and violence are not opposites in Jon's psychology. The wound collapsed that distinction years ago. Ygritte died because of who he was. The Watch killed him. The war north of the Wall took what was left. Each time the love was real. Each time the pattern found a way to take it. Daenerys offered him something none of those situations offered. A future. The wound could not survive a future, so it did what it always does. But here is what the show never told you. In George R.R. Martin's books, Jon Snow never reaches this moment because the psychological stakes of his mutiny are completely different. The show frames his assassination as the cost of being a wildling sympathizer. The books frame it as something more destabilizing. Jon receives the pink letter from Ramsay Bolton, threatening to march on Castle Black and take what he wants. Jon reads the letter, then stands before his brothers and announces he will ride south alone to face Ramsay, breaking every oath he has ever sworn. The Night's Watch does not murder him over ideology. They murder him over one thing. He chose family over every institutional rule that gave his life meaning. The show's Jon kills love to protect strangers. The book's Jon breaks every rule to protect the person he loves. The wound cuts in both versions, but in opposite directions. That difference in direction is the most revealing psychological data Martin has ever given us about this character. When someone is offered everything they have ever needed, belonging, purpose, a reason that does not cost them, and the deepest layer of their psychology converts the offer into one more altar, something specific is happening beneath the surface. Patterns built from early loss develop a logic that mistakes receiving for danger. A person operating this pattern does not choose sacrifice consciously. The sacrifice feels like conscience. It feels like integrity. The difference is one thing. Genuine conscience leaves room for being saved. The compulsive version never does. The Night's Watch did not create this in Jon Snow. They gave it a uniform. Daenerys offered Jon Snow the only thing that ever could have ended the pattern. He said yes, and then said no with a blade. The question is not whether he made the right call for Westeros. The question is whether he ever had a choice at all, or whether the wound was always going to win. Was Jon Snow the hero who saved the world, or a man so conditioned by sacrifice that he could only prove his love by ending it? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'll see you in the next.